The world first saw the historic moon moment through a flickering screen while a distant camera quietly recorded humanity's bold step. Millions watched the dusty moon surface as the fragile signal traveled across space through a giant antenna toward Earth. What people believed was the original footage was actually a converted video created through complex equipment on Earth. The true master recording once existed on magnetic tapes stored carefully inside a technical archive. Those original tapes contained the pure signal sent directly from the lunar camera without broadcast conversion. But decades later, those priceless reels were erased during routine storage decisions inside a government facility. The story begins again when a newly restored clip appears online showing sharper moon images from the famous mission. The viral video spreads rapidly across social media platforms while curious viewers study every frame. Headlines across the newsroom announce enhanced footage from the legendary lunar landing. Millions replay the improved video searching for tiny details on the dusty surface. Some viewers focus on the famous bootprint left by the astronaut on the silent moon's soil. Others zoom into the shining module standing quietly under harsh sunlight. Questions quickly rise across online forums about the missing original tapes. People ask why the best recording of humanity's greatest mission disappeared from the historical archive. Soon the growing debate reaches government halls inside the Capitol. Concerned officials begin examining the missing data stored once inside NASA vaults. Congressional staff prepare an official letter requesting answers about the lost records. The document travels through federal offices toward NASA's investigative department. Inside the request, lawmakers ask for detailed logs describing every tape used during Apollo 11. They demand exact dates, storage locations, and the names of every technician who handled the reels. The investigation focuses on the chain of custody that followed the historic lunar signal. Officials want to know where each reel traveled after leaving the ground station. The request also questions the decision that allowed valuable magnetic tape to be reused. Government auditors search for written permission authorizing the erasure inside NASA storage. This inquiry becomes more than simple history as public trust begins to weaken. Citizens want clear proof supported by documents preserved in official archives. Meanwhile, every new restored video creates another wave of curiosity across the internet. People compare each improved frame with earlier broadcast recordings. Many notice slight differences caused by digital cleaning and modern software. But none of the releases reveal the lost raw signal from the lunar camera. Experts explain that the Apollo 11 camera used special slow scan technology. This unique system transmitted only 10 frames each second through a deep space signal. The unusual format allowed the lightweight lunar camera to send images through a narrow channel. However, that signal could not appear directly on normal television screens. Engineers built a complex converter inside a broadcast control room. The machine projected the slow scan image onto a glowing phosphorus monitor. Another television camera then filmed the monitor to create standard broadcast video. During that process, valuable detail vanished from the original lunar signal. Fine textures on the dusty surface became softer on the televised picture. The delicate shadows around the landing module blurred slightly through conversion. Yet the historic moment still reached millions watching their living room television. While the world celebrated the lunar landing, engineers recorded the raw signal on magnetic tape machines. Large spinning reels captured the original data inside ground stations. 3 key stations received the lunar transmission through giant tracking antennas. One stood in California's desert facility called Goldstone. Another operated near Canberra at the Honeysuckle Creek Station. A third powerful radio dish waited at the Parkes Observatory in rural Australia. Each location recorded the slow scan signal onto heavy magnetic tapes. Engineers labeled every reel carefully using mission numbers and sequence marks. After the broadcast finished, workers boxed the reels inside shipping crates. Those containers traveled by cargo airplane toward a NASA data center. The destination was a massive archive at the Goddard Space Flight Facility. Inside climate-controlled rooms, technicians stored thousands of scientific tapes. The Apollo 11 recordings sat quietly among satellite data and space probe files. At the time, those reels were treated like routine mission telemetry. No one imagined the footage would become priceless historical evidence. Years later, the tapes were transferred again to a federal records warehouse. Pallets of magnetic reels filled long storage shelves. Paper accession logs listed bulk shipments but rarely individual serials. Over time, the detailed custody trail slowly faded from the official files. By the early 1980s, NASA faced a shortage of magnetic tape. Program managers looked for reusable reels stored inside aging archives. The Apollo telemetry tapes appeared as convenient storage material. Technicians erased the old data and prepared the reels for new missions. No ceremony marked the moment when the priceless lunar signal vanished. The decision followed ordinary government procedure inside a busy data facility. Decades later, engineers began searching for the missing recordings. One specialist named Richard Nafsker led the official recovery investigation. His research team examined shipping documents and warehouse inventories. They opened dusty boxes stored in forgotten government basements. Telephone calls reached retired engineers who once worked near the ground antennas. Every clue pointed toward the same disappointing conclusion. The original slow-scan master tapes were permanently erased. Roughly 45 reels of lunar data had been recycled for other projects. The purest video of the moonwalk disappeared through routine storage policy. NASA archivists later confirmed the unfortunate reality. The raw signal containing the clearest lunar images no longer existed. Only broadcast copies survived inside television archives. Some recordings came from Houston control rooms. Others were captured by engineers filming their studio monitors. A few rare versions were preserved by Australian tracking stations. Yet all those sources were several generations removed from the original transmission. In 2009, NASA hired the company Lowry to improve the surviving video. Digital artists scanned every surviving tape using advanced restoration tools. They reduced electronic noise and stabilized flickering lunar frames. The improved footage revealed clearer views of the lunar module. But even powerful software could not restore lost detail. Half the vertical resolution had disappeared during the original broadcast conversion. Engineers carefully balanced image sharpness against digital artifact noise. Remove too much grain and real lunar texture vanished. Push contrast too far and strange visual ghosts appeared. The final restored video looked better but still carried the limits of old technology. Every frame remained a copy of the lunar scene. Years later, another surprising story appeared in the auction market. 3 vintage Apollo 11 tapes were offered by a private collector. The reels once belonged to a former NASA intern named Gary George. He purchased the forgotten box at a government surplus sale. Auctioneers described the material as early broadcast footage from the moon landing. Excited collectors gathered inside the crowded bidding room. The final price reached over $1 million for the historic recording. News outlets reported the event across global media channels. However, experts quickly explained the important detail. Those auctioned reels were not the original slow-scan masters. They were ordinary broadcast copies recorded in a Houston control studio. NASA released an official statement reminding reporters about the erased telemetry tapes. Still, the dramatic price sparked new debate among curious viewers. People wondered why valuable historical data had ever been erased. Some critics suspected hidden secrets buried in the missing lunar archive. Others blamed simple bureaucratic decisions inside busy government offices. The discussion grew louder each time new restored footage appeared online. Then another form of proof arrived from orbiting spacecraft. A robotic mission called the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter photographed the Apollo 11 landing site. Its powerful camera captured the descent stage of the Eagle module. Long astronaut tracks stretched across the dusty lunar landscape. Even discarded scientific equipment appeared as tiny shapes in orbital images. Those photographs confirmed the location shown in mission maps. The landing site remained exactly where the historic mission reported. For many observers, the orbital photos ended decades of lunar doubt. Physical hardware still rested quietly on the distant moon. Yet the missing video masters continued haunting the historical record. NASA maintains that every moment of the broadcast moonwalk survives in archived copies. Engineers insist no second of televised video disappeared from public access. However, the highest quality original signal remains permanently lost. This difference between technical completeness and visual authenticity fuels ongoing debate. Some people accept the explanation of routine tape recycling. Others continue asking difficult questions about archival policy. Historians now study the fragile nature of analog records. Magnetic tapes degrade, disappear, or become obsolete inside aging storage. Modern space missions avoid that problem through digital archives. Multiple backup servers protect mission data inside secure networks. Future lunar explorers will record high-resolution video from powerful digital cameras. Those images will travel instantly through satellites and deep space antennas. Unlike fragile magnetic reels, digital files can be copied endlessly across global databases. The painful lesson from Apollo's missing tapes reshaped modern data preservation. Space agencies now treat raw mission signals as priceless scientific treasure. The story of the erased reels remains a powerful reminder. History depends not only on heroic missions but also careful archives. The moon landing changed humanity under the silent lunar sky. But the missing master video changed how agencies protect fragile evidence. Today, the world still watches the famous moonwalk through restored broadcast footage. Behind every flickering frame lies a lesson about memory and preservation. Subscribe to our channel and thanks for watching.